Hey guys, so today I am going to tap our big maple tree here to see if we can get some sap out of it to make some syrup. I just watched a little video on it, so that's why I know. I don't claim to know these things. So this is the correct type of tree. The way you can tell is like there's like bigger chunks that you can like potentially pull off. And it's big enough. It's about 50 centimeters or inches in diameter, and it has to be over 18 inches. So I could do up to 6 taps on this tree because it's really huge. You don't really want to do more than 6. And you want to drill in about 1.5 inches. See, I made a little mark on the drill. Oops. Sorry. I'll go 4.5 feet up, like southeast facing. Got a bucket. I got my little tapper guy here connected to a hose. Go on an upward angle so that the syrup or the sap drains out. Tap my first maple tree.
So now that we've collected all the sap from the tree, we got to set up a system to evaporate it down. I think we were doing the math yesterday. About 10 gallons gets you about 1 gallon of syrup. We got to set up a way to basically boil all the sap that we have. There's these big contraptions that you can buy. Really long, big pan is usually the way to do it. Or you go out and get one of these. We don't have one of those on us, so we're gonna try to just DIY this. There's this random thing in the ground that my dad's digging up. We're not quite sure what it is. It's been here since we moved.
It's an old septic tank.
It's an old septic tank, and it's not gonna work.
We're not gonna be able to use it.
We're not gonna use that. Plan B. Yeah, it's looking good. Not boiling? No. The other one's boiling though, huh? Or it starts to. Day 2 of trying to do maple syrup. And we found out pretty quickly that this pot, which is actually for brewing beer, did not do a good job at all. So I guess there's a reason why they make those maple syrup evaporators very short and long. So we got a couple pans here. So this one here was from what we did yesterday. And that was about 5 gallons that got down to this. And you can still see it's still very watery. So that even still has a long ways to go. But we're gonna try to speed up the process here with a second pan. You can see there's a big difference between fresh sap and sap that we've cooked for the last 24 hours. Or who's the guy that figured out that if you boil a lot of sap, that you get syrup? And I'm so glad you asked. Let's see what Professor Brian Chabot has to say about this.
The Europeans, when they arrived in North America, discovered that the Native Americans had already learned that maple trees were a source of sugar and had learned some ways of turning it into a more concentrated form of syrup, at least, that they used in their cooking.
All right, so we are finishing up our maple syrup. We left one of them on the fire last night and it boiled down to like not much at all. So this may be a really sweet syrup because I think we should have maybe taken it off sooner, but alas, here we are. We want to boil it to 7 degrees over the boiling point, which is 219. And then let it cool down to 185 and pour it through a filter.